welcome to this week's Power Hour. All right. Okay. Can you guys see me? Can you guys hear me? The movie recording has been stopped automatically. What does this mean? Alrighty, everybody. Can you guys hear me? Can you see me? Hopefully, we have got this set up. Okay, amazing. Here we go. Here's everybody. You know what? Technology, every single time, something likes to happen to me. I got my mic in one hand, got my pen in the other hand. Penny is underneath here. Okay, so let's see where everybody's calling in from, first of all. I want to see all of these countries. Okay, amazing. So randomly, my laptop goes to me. Movie recording stopped. My goodness. Okay, righty-ho, everybody. So today, we are talking about how to make the right choices. Oh my goodness me. Choices, choices, choices. Comment a number 1 in the chat if you've ever made a bad choice, right? Have you ever made a bad Okay, people can hear me, you can see me, you can hear and see me. Amazing, great. If you can't hear me, turn on your sound. Let's see, we've got people all over the world. Czech Republic, the UK, where else? We've got America. Amazing. Okay, great. So we're going to get some real fire stuff today out of our motivation section. I'll be doing a Q&A at the end. So if you have any questions, just hold on to it right now. I don't want you to put it in the comments because I'll lose it. So right, anyone ever made a bad choice? This is what we're talking about today, is choices. So put a 1 in the chat if you have felt that you have made a bad choice. Okay, cool. So everybody here thinks that they've made a bad choice. I'm gonna let you into a secret. It's actually not a bad choice. There's choices that are not bad or good. It's just a choice that we made in the moment that we thought was the right choice. So when you look back and you go, that was a bad choice. But in the moment, did you think it was a good choice or do you think it was a bad choice? Because in that moment, you generally felt like that was the right thing to do, right? That was what you decided to go with. Like you were debating, should I do this? Should I not do this? And then you say yes, because in the moment you thought that it was the right choice. And then it's only later on that you now perceive it as being something bad because you've changed or you've grown. So I don't like to think of choices as good or bad, or things that even happen to us as good or bad. They just are. And often we hold on to ourselves and we get so mad at ourselves for making those bad choices in the past. Has anybody ever felt bad? Has anybody ever felt bad because of a choice they made in the past? Right, I think we're all at home raising our hands and nodding our head right now. There are numerous things that I have done that I felt bad from. However, at the time, it was like the right thing to do. It was like, that's what I decided. That's what I felt was like, was worthy. That's what I felt like was going to help me at that time. But it actually wasn't maybe the right thing if I'm in my new state. But I can't judge myself for making a decision that I made at that time. So every single day, oh, people are hearing something with the volume. You guys hearing me okay? It's low on your laptop. Okay. Okay, cool, cool, cool. Okay, we're getting some more people coming in, hoping that they haven't missed anything. People saying they don't hear anything. Sound is working fine, my end. Let's just see, because I got a 10-second delay here as well. So I just want to double check that you guys can hear me okay. It sounds like you guys can hear me. Yes, headphones make it much better. Okay, still don't hear anything. Oh my goodness, she can't hear anything. Turn your speaker on, maybe listen on your phone, change it on your phone, change it from your laptop to your phone, your phone to the other way. Let's see. Okay, cool. So let's keep going with this. So if you've ever felt like you have made a bad decision, right? Lots of people on here are saying like, hey, I think I made a bad decision. Whereas you didn't really make a bad decision, you made the decision that you felt was right at the time. There are so many things where I look back and I go, oh my goodness, like that was a crazy decision. Like what was, that was just absolutely bananas. Like why did I do that? Why did I decide to do that? Why was this problem, right? And it's really interesting because you really do what you felt was right in that moment. And it's only as you grow or you develop or you change your morals or you change your mindset or you change your thinking that you look back and you say, oh, that was a bad mistake. where it wasn't. And if you hadn't made that choice, you wouldn't be where you are today, okay? Penny is just itching to come up, so if I don't bring her up, she's gonna, here we go. Okay, there you go, you can sit behind me. See, I made a choice to get Penny. Was that a good choice or was that a bad choice? No, Penny, that's not food, that's a pen. So there's so many times where I look back at my life and I go, what was I doing? Like, I can't believe I made that decision. Like, what led me to think that? What led me to like say yes to that or do that action? But I really feel that like those decisions that we make are just what we felt was right in the moment. It's like, you know, maybe you reacted to something. You know, reactions, we're going to talk about that a little bit later on, because I feel like that's a big thing when you make a choice, that you maybe make something a little bit too fast, like you maybe make choices too quickly. And that can sometimes lead us to being annoyed at ourselves or pissed off, because it's like, oh my goodness, I can't believe that I did that. And it could be because you just made that choice too quickly. Penny, what are you doing? You want to see the camera? We're doing a motivation section. This is not very helpful. You want to come sit on my lap? Honestly, what do they say? Never work with kids or dogs, animals or children. Okay, is that better? Is that a better position for you, my dear? So when you're thinking about choices, yes, I like it. Lindsay says here, don't judge yourself for your choices, because you did what you felt was right in that moment. Like you literally did. What are you trying to do? I'm sorry. Oh, she wants the back. She wants this part. She knows that she's not allowed to sit on it, but she does it anyway. All right, there you go. Okay, I give in. You're allowed to sit on it today. There's been so many times, my goodness, just like looking back at my life where I've got into a relationship with somebody that like probably wasn't the best person for me, or maybe I have gone and done something on a night out where I shouldn't have done it, and I just look back and I go, oh my goodness, like all of these like terrible things that I did. But that's just my perception. That's just emphasize enough how important it is to look back on those things that you did as choices that you made that were the things that you felt right at the time. And now you're like, oh my goodness, I've grown up so much. I'm like a different person. I would not make that choice now because I'm grown. And that's even more exciting, because you can look back and you can be like, oh my goodness, like how different I am right now. So I really like look back and I go, not look back as in a bad way, but I just go, oh, wow, you know what, the Rebecca now, she's a very different person. She's completely different now. She's, much, more aware of her decisions. She makes, decisions that are more helpful, I think, for her life. But I'm really proud of all the things that I've done in the past. I mean, not proud is the word, but I'm glad that I made those choices because it's led me to where I am today. So without all of those things, without all those choices that you did, you would never actually get to where you want to be today. So don't be mad at the choices that you have made in the past. What we can control is making sure that we make the choices that are going to help us get to where we want to go in the future. So it's very black and white. If you want to get something so bad, every single time that something comes up in front of you, you have to say to yourself, is it going to help me get what I want, or is it not going to help me get what I want? And it literally is that black and white. If you are so serious about achieving something, if you are so serious about getting somewhere, you have to make it so black and white. Is this going to help me get where I want to go? Is this going to help me get this pen? No, then I don't do it. Yes, then I do it. Okay? And that's like if you want something like so bad. You're like, hey, I've got 6 weeks. I want to get, in the most amazing shape, whatever. Or I want to get an A in my exam. I want to get this next job promotion. It has to be that black and white. And I feel like that really keeps me on track to knowing that I'm making the right choices. Because I'll just say, hey, does this help me get to where I want to go? Yes, great, I'll do it. No, okay, that doesn't align with my goals. And so for me, that's a really great way to identify if those choices are good or bad, because I'm already looking at the outcome. I'm not looking at like the specific choice itself. I'm looking at what the outcome of that choice will do. Going forward, it's like, hey, let's just allow that to be something that happened to you in the past, allow that to be something that you experienced, and boom, this is where you got to where you are today. So choices going forward. Always take a hot second to reply to anything or to make a decision, to really think it through. Now, I'm a very immediate person. I am a yes or no person straight away. I know if I want to do something and I know if I don't want to do something. And so I'm very quick at making decisions. Corey, on the other hand, is very slow at making decisions. We have to look around 10 different pieces of furniture before we buy one, whereas I'll just find the first thing that I see on Amazon and I'm like, that's fine, that will do, right? So if you have a gut feeling about something, I run with that. It's like, that's what my gut feeling says. I'm going to go with this. I'm going to go straight forward, and I'm going to run with that. If it's something that can disrupt your life, this is where some people, and I've seen it happen to a lot of people in the last couple of months, they've made a decision that's been so rash, that's been so out of character, that they've actually lost things that are around them because they haven't looked at the whole picture. So when you just go, right, I'm not doing that anymore, I'm cutting it off. Right, I'm not looking at that, that's not happening, I'm not doing that. It's things that you are closing down. It's those choices that you close down that actually limits your opportunity, and it limits the growth that you can have. I look at everything. If something is an opportunity, or if something is, something that I don't know about, I am very educated on it. I'm making sure that, like, okay, I don't know something, somebody obviously knows something that I don't, so therefore I'm going to go out and I'm going to figure it out for myself. I'm also not just going to research stuff, okay? Research is baloney because you've got so many different people's opinions. So I actually want to do something myself so that I can make a choice, okay? So it's like, hey, I want to try this workout pant because I want to know for myself if it fits right. I'm not going to be influenced by other people's opinions, right? It's your choice. You can't make a full, educated choice if you have never worn those yoga pants before. You can have an opinion on it. You can have an opinion on those yoga pants. You can have an opinion on what it's like to work out in them. But if you've never actually worn them yourself and gone for a workout, you haven't got shit to say, right? You haven't got anything yourself. You're reading something online, or you're reading something, you're just believing what your friend's doing. This is where choices come in, because the choice needs to be from a personal experience. So I always feel if you're not sure what choices to make, go in and do it yourself, right? Do the actual action yourself, and that is what's going to help you make the decision that you know, because you don't know what you don't know. Write that down. You do not know what you don't know. So if you haven't fully dived into something, if you haven't fully tried something, you don't know if it's really going to work. You don't know if it's really for you or not for you. Some things could be for you, and you're just ignoring it because you're being so narrow-minded and you're not opening up your ears. If anyone has an opportunity, I listen to everything. I want to know everything. I want to really see it. I want to see how it's working for other people. I want to try it myself, and boom, then I can make a decision. And I really believe that that's how I've got so far in the business that we've created, that in the community, in everything that is going on right now. I really believe it's because I've always been so open-minded on the choices, and I've never closed down anybody else's choices, and I certainly haven't closed down mine. So if you're deciding on things and you're having people from an outside influence dictate what you could have, then that's going to make a difference to your life. So for me, choices, it's always like, right, I'm going to do this myself, I'm going to figure it out, and then I'm going to make a choice to see if it is right for me or not. Hope that makes sense. You guys are just not messaging me back anymore, but I'm going to go up onto here and I'm going to join this live. Here we go. And I want to get some questions from you guys. So let's see, let's turn this down. Okay. Right, can you guys still hear me? You guys are still here. I just want to double check that I'm getting these questions in. Okay. All right, okay, cool. I got chat on here, but apart from on my computer, it stopped working again. So let's see. Trisha says, I'd like to think that it would depend on if it's put in our fact or opinion, like if yoga pants feel comfy versus if they're made from cotton. So it's just up to you. That's a choice that you have to make by putting them on yourself. It's like, put your big girl pants on and try it out yourself, okay? Because otherwise you're just constantly being told what to think rather than doing it for yourself. And those choices are therefore never going to come from truly you. They're never really your bottom, the core of you, of your choices. You're basically just listening to what other people think, and maybe they're making an influence on the choice yourself, okay? Someone says here, what is someone's advice I can give to my husband when he's having a hard day and being influenced by negative people at work? So we can be a shining light in other people. So you say, I understand how you feel, and what I have found is that when I am creating positive energy and I'm giving positive light to the world, I'm influencing other people, okay? So your husband gets to be that light that goes into the office, that gets to be the person that changes everybody else's state. Maybe he's the one that needs to be the leader that is going to rally up the troops and get them to feel positive and get them to feel alive, right? Because if someone's feeling negative, often they've got something bad that's happening in their life, and we can be the ones that change that for them. So instead of thinking, okay, we need to make sure that they change, they've got to change, hey, why don't we change? Why don't we change? He can go into that office and actually bring lots of light and energy to them. Maybe he brings in some like healthy snacks one day and says hello to somebody, or just goes the extra mile just to crack people. Because often people who are feeling negative, they got so much stuff like bundled up inside of them, they are just like about to explode, okay? So I suggest he can go straight in and just give some light and energy and bring in some hummus and dips and see how they like it, right? Just kill people with kindness. If you've been influenced by family, how can you grow in confidence to speak up with your choices? So that is your choice, that you have been influenced by your family. You can choose not to be influenced by your family by choosing your own steps, right? So if you are saying, I've been influenced by my family, you've already given into the fact that your family have influenced you. Well, take that influence away. Don't allow them to be the influence in your life. Like, you have your own words, you have your own choices, you have your own views, and that's something that you've got to stand up to and say, you know what, I'm not influenced by my family. Because if you keep saying, I'm influenced by my family, I'm influenced by my family, and you repeat that story over and over and over again in your head, guess what? You're influenced by your family, you never have your own choices, and you're never going to get anywhere, okay? So already we're telling ourselves a story of, well, my mom is negative, so I'm negative. Or like, I'm around negative people all the time, so I'm negative. It's like, no, that's the story that you're creating because you want to just stay in that mentality, okay? Choices can be hard with so much information. It can be hard to trust your gut. So choices do not have to be hard. If you think that they're hard, they're going to be really hard. A choice doesn't have to be difficult. It can be exciting. It can be fun. It's like, wow, I get to go on this self-discovery and figure this out for myself. So how do you make the right choice? You try a bunch of things. It's like, what do you want to do for a career? I was like, I don't know. Before I became a trainer online, I was getting my commercial pilot's license. I was teaching myself a degree in history. I'd worked in a bank. I'd been a poker dealer, a club promoter. I've been in a girl band. I worked for a marketing agency. I've been a babysitter, a waitress. Oh my goodness, none of those even match. Like, nothing even matches right there at all, right? So I didn't know what was the right choice. What was the right choice career-wise? So how did I figure out that choice? I tried loads of things and I really dived into it. I didn't just dabble with something. I went and got my full commercial pilot's license. I didn't just dabble at getting my online history degree. I tried for 8 years to get the degree, right? It's about really going full in, and then you can make a choice up. Okay, so how to accept your bad choices. So Stefan, there's no bad choices. There's no bad choices. Those were the choices that you felt were right at the time, okay? That's not a bad choice. It's led you to where you are today. So it doesn't matter what the choices were. It's not even a bad choice. It's a learning lesson, right? You only fail if you don't learn from it, okay? But you've learned from it, okay? So we can really, and regretting things, it doesn't help. Just be grateful that you're now going, oh my goodness, I wouldn't do that now today because I've grown. And you can look back, and if you'd never grown, you wouldn't be able to think that. You'd be in that same mindset. You'd be in that same mentality. But you haven't. You've grown. You've stretched yourself. You're like, oh, that's interesting. I wouldn't have done that before. Now, everybody in this group, absolutely everybody in the world has done something that they felt was not great. You are not alone. You are not the only person here, okay? You're not the only person. Everybody has felt like this. So you just have to realize that, yes, everybody goes through this same thing, and we just get to keep on going forward, get to make those even better decisions as we stride into the next chapter of our lives. Sophia says, I've started influencing myself. Thanks to you, Rebecca. My boyfriend is negative so often, but I'm trying to fight with this feeling and don't let it affect me. Yes, and that's the thing. It's like, oh, why should you have to fight with this feeling, okay? If you're around somebody, if you're around a boyfriend or if you're around a partner who is negative, you can do one or two things. You can be the shining example, which one you have to be anyway, right? And you can try and, not even try, you can just be the example and see if they want to join you in that positivity. If not, you deserve better. You deserve somebody who is positive, who is uplifting, who's going to give you the same amount of energy back, that is going to keep your cup feeling nice and full. All right, so I'm really proud of you, Sophia. And now the next step is, who are you surrounding yourself with? Because if you are continually surrounding yourself with somebody that's negative, that's a choice that you are deciding to make. And I don't think it's going to help you a great deal in the future. Beth says, looking into a career change again. Amazing, great. You know what, I'm 30, going to be 32 next week, right? I don't know how long I'm going to be filming workouts for. Maybe I just become something completely different. Maybe then, in 10 years time, I've got a Chihuahua farm, which is also one of my dreams. I've got a Chihuahua farm and I'm saving ancient old Chihuahuas with their tongues hanging out. We get to adapt. Like, we can change all the time. People are so in their mindset of like, okay, I go to school, and then I go to work for 30 years, 40 years, 50 years, then I get my pension and then I retire. It's like, what kind of life is that? Like, you can change what you do every 5, 10 years, every year if you want to, okay? You could move to a different country and start doing something completely different. I say go for it. I think it's good advice that sometimes we carry the troubles of others, and other than feelings their troubles or pain, we can work to uplift and guide them, such as kinds of, yes, exactly, yes, brilliant. Joanna says, how to encourage others to get to know about something great. If they are closed up for everything what's new, they keep complaining but don't want to hear. So we can't change other people. We can be consistent. So I've been consistent on my nutrition plan for 7 years. I absolutely love it. I'm not going to change. I love the energy. I love the positivity. I love my abs. I love my results. I love the community. I love the opportunity. I love everything, right? I'm just going to keep on being consistent. And that's all you can do too. Is it Joanna? Yes, Joanna. All you can do too is keep being consistent. Your friends will turn around when they hit rock bottom, or when they want to reach out to you, okay? Or they want to open their eyes. But also, maybe it's time that you find some other friends who are ready to lift up and level up their life with you as well. Because often we just keep waiting for the same people to change, and we're just like literally just waiting for people to become on our level. I don't wait for people to come on my level. I'm out finding people who are already more ambitious than me, more driven than me, more positive than me. That's who I'm looking for. I'm like, where are these people? I want to make them my friends, right? Because, we want to work together to lift everybody up. So keep being consistent, and you're not going to change doing what you do because you love it, right? We can't influence everybody. Not everybody's going to be open-minded to have their ears open. Most people have got their eyes closed and their ears shut, right? So that's just part of life. And as long as you are doing what you love to do and you're staying consistent, that's all that matters. Okay, cool. So ending up loving to doing something that I've never thought that I would. That's amazing. Good for you. Rachel said, I have trouble knowing what I want to do. For making decisions, how do you know what you want? It takes me forever to actually decide. So some people they just take longer to decide things. The only way that I knew what I wanted in life in terms of a career was by trial and error. Everything is trial and error. Now, looking back, I'm like, obviously, this is what I was meant to do. I grew up making home videos. In fact, my parents sent me a video yesterday of me and my brother in front of the camera. We used to make vlogs. I was making vlogs way before this thing was a thing on YouTube. I played sport my whole life, and I love team sports. I love coaching. I love being a captain. I love getting people rallied up. I love getting people fired up to come on guys, we can beat this team. We can smash them. It's going to be amazing, right? And I always loved giving speeches. I was really good at speaking in front of large audiences. Now, why did I go and, be and do all these other things that now I look back and I go, oh, all of the puzzles of the pieces fit together. And I didn't start doing this until I was 25 years old, okay? Which isn't even that old, but it's taken, now I'm gonna be 32, and things are now starting to flow into place. So, but I tried everything, and I tried everything full in. I didn't just get my private pilot's license because I want to be a commercial pilot. I went through all of my training, 250 hours, went back to England, did 6 months of ground school, 5 days a week, 8 hours a day, 2 weeks off in six months, and got 13 ATPL written exams, which is like the equivalent of a degree. It was crazy, right? You go full in because that's the only way if you really know something. So for me, Rachel, it's, you know, you will have trouble. That's normal. You always are going to have trouble not sure what you want to do unless you go and try absolutely everything. Awesome. Okay, glad that was helpful, Sophia. Sharon says, how do you deal with a very bad toxic person, but with whom you have to maintain a relationship? So I want to know, why do you have to maintain a relationship? We have a choice with who we want to maintain a relationship with. It doesn't matter if they're your mom, your dad, somebody you work with. You do not have to maintain a relationship with anybody that you don't want to, because it's a choice that you are maintaining this relationship. Even if you say that you are, maybe you are married to them, okay, and you have a kid together, okay, you have it very separate. You have like things in order, and they're not allowed to contact you. You have boundaries, and you have to set everything up, okay? So you really can choose the type of relationship that you want with somebody, and if you allow them in. So let me know who that person is, Sharon, so that I can help you deal with that situation. Beth says, I'm 41, done so many different things. It's exciting, I think. Yes, it is so exciting. It's so amazing doing all of these different things. Like, you know, to be sat in a job for 30, 40 years, like that's, you know, sometimes it works. It works for a lot of people. There's great routine, there's great structure, but don't feel that you have to stay in there and that you're scared to try something new, because look, nothing's going to happen. You're going to find a job, you're going to be able to pay your bills. You know, if you work hard and you just keep executing like a good attitude and effort, you're going to be able to try so many different things in life. Like, I love the variety that we can have. Okay, Hannah says, I have trouble making decisions too, but it doesn't help when I focus on myself and what I want rather than what everyone else wants from me. Yeah, Hannah, this is so important. I'm going to take a sip of water. Can't emphasize enough. I mean, I have never been in a situation where other people, my parents were very open. I think they probably knew from an early age, don't argue with me because I'm going to do what I want. I made that very clear. And so my mom and dad have never said anything to me like, oh, you can't do this, you can't do that. And I wouldn't even be like listening to them. I wouldn't listen because I'm very strong-willed, and I know that I'm going to work hard and I'm going to make my parents proud, right? That's my almost thing. I was like, I really want to make my parents proud. I want to be able to retire them. I want to be able to get them a house with a lake at the bottom of the garden so my dad can fish. There's always my vision. And so, you know, if you've got people telling you what you should be doing, right, that's for you to say, hey, totally appreciate, and I love that you're giving me this advice. What feels good in my soul right now is the decisions I'm making. You can either support me on this or not. In fact, when I got Alfie, this is a funny story, I called up my mum. I said, Mum, I've got something to tell you. You can either support me on this or not, but I'm doing it anyway. And she was like, oh my God, she thought I was pregnant. And I said, oh, I'm going to get a dog. She was like, oh, okay, right? Not that it wouldn't matter either way. But I prefaced it like that. I said, look, I'm going to do this with or without you. If you want to support me, great. If not, that's fine. I don't need your support. I'm going to do it. So that's literally what I've done. And I think that's a great thing that you can preface. Say, I am going to do this. Would you like to support me in it? And if they say no, say, no problem. You're going to go find someone who will support you in it. Because if that's truly what you want to do, that's what you need to keep going with. Okay. Awesome. I recently decided that with some of the negative attacks I experienced recently that I decided to mute, and I decided that honestly I need to weed my Facebook garden. Yes, absolutely. That's so important. Okay, so Rachel says, you make me want to be a fitness instructor on the side. My friends are asking how to get results. Amazing, great. So maybe that's something that you start on the side if you enjoy it. Like if you have a passion and a purpose for something, then you are going to be compelled to keep on going forward. And look, if some things don't work out, if there's anything that doesn't actually work out, you can always do something different. And trust me, there's always something better lined up. When you feel like you've lost something, you made the wrong choice, you lost this happened, oh my goodness, trust me, there's always something better out there. Every single time. There's always a better house, there's always a better job, there's always a better boyfriend, there's always a better something. There always is something better going along, and it's going to make the world of difference when you let go of the past and you step into something that's even greater, because your standard's going to be higher and you know what you want even more. You know, like when you move into a certain house, when you look at another one, you're like, okay, well, my last house, didn't have this, but this one has this, and it has all of the other things that I wanted as well. So boom, it's going to be an upgrade rather than thinking, oh my goodness, this is the most important thing ever, okay, and not looking at the bigger picture of what could be more. Okay, thank you. I have to maintain a courteous relationship with my brother because he is... Okay, cool. Okay, so you're both taking care of your father. That's amazing. And with your brother, you just have to set the boundaries. I mean, is there a way that, you know, one of you works with is looking after your dad at one time and looks after the other? And you know what? You just have to go in and be extra smiley. That's what you get to be, because he's going to feed into you being negative. If you're going to be negative and you're going to complain about him, he will feed into that. That's what he wants. Like, that's his story. That's how he creates his identity, is I'm the negative one and I like to wind up my sister, or I like to give her shit. If you don't react to it, he's going to be like, what? Why is she not doing that? And he's going to start to like realize that his behavior is purely to get a reaction out of you. So just go in there and just be nice as pie. My mum tell me this, count to 10 and walk away. Count to 10 and walk away. All right. I hope that helps you, Sharon. There is a person in my life who I have to be around, same classes, but I've decided I don't want to have a friendship acquaintance with them. Great, amazing. Just because you're in the same like vicinity and that you're around each other, doesn't mean to say that you have to give them any attention. Doesn't mean to say that you have to like, you know, be around them. It really, you know, this is your decision. You just can be cordial. You can just be nice and just walk into the classroom with a nice big smile. How do I tell him there that since I have to interact with him after? What do you mean, Kayla, that you have to interact with them? Because how much do you really have to interact with them? Even though that you are in the same, you're doing a major and you're in the same classes, why do you have to interact with them? And if you do, just be nice. You know, if this person's being negative, just like the brother that Sharon has, it's just like, hey, you know what? No problem. I'm just going to be nice as pie, and you kill people with kindness. Like, if you start to react and you get down to their level, like that's what they're trying to do. They're trying to get you down to their pathetic level, because it makes them feel good. It makes, when people are negative and they're giving people shit for other stuff that they're doing, it makes them feel good. I got no freaking idea why, because it doesn't make any sense, but it actually makes them feel good because it brings you down, because ultimately they're probably jealous. They're probably jealous of you, that you have something that they want, because people aren't nasty to people that they are secure with. These people are insecure. They feel their story is, I'm a negative person. And the way that they are allowed to, you know, they don't want to meet you at your level. They don't want to go up and be like nice and happy. They want to bring you down to yours. So almost feeling a little bit sorry for that person. Any tips for, where do we go? Any tips? Thank you, Rebecca. This is so true. Now I'm going to focus on people who feel what I feel instead of listening to someone's complaining and not taking any advice. This is scary how people, I know, and you know what, they're just not ready. Timing is everything, Joanna. So it might not be like their time right now. They might not have the eyes open, like they might have not had the development. They might have not, you know, been on any like podcasts that have really like lightened their soul or like got them to think in a different way. So we just have to be patient with people. Stephanie, hello, came on here randomly, was cleaning my fish tank. Glad that you came on, Stephanie. Sharon said, thank you, Rebecca. It did help. You made me smile. Okay, great. Rachel says, I've been offered a job that's kind of want. My husband doesn't think it's a smart decision since it's commission and not hourly wage. Well, you know what? Hourly wage, you can only make what you do in that hour. Then you are stuck. There is a maximum ceiling that you can do. With a commission base, you get, the sky is your limit. I prefer everything commission based because then it's done on my hard work. It's done, an hourly wage is easy, right? I feel like, yes, great, you turn up for your job, you get that, paid that money, but a commission is hustle. A commission is like you're putting effort into something. A commission means that you're not working, you're not trading your time for money, right? If whatever your hourly rate is that what you're worth per hour, right? You have to decide. So an hourly, and there's nothing wrong with an hourly wage because it gives you that stability. If you have the opportunity to add commission like on top or vice versa, this means that you are in control. You just have to weigh up what that looks like. But trust, what do you feel? Like, why can't you try it for a little bit and then take something else? You could just give it a go, maybe a 90-day trial. Okay, count to 10 and walk away. I love this. Yep, my mum taught me this when I was young. I think it would be good if honestly, I didn't know if he's getting in my head or what I think. Okay, Rachel. Okay, I think it would be good but honestly, I don't know if he's getting in my head or what I think. How would you figure out what I mean? Just try it. Can you try it? Can you go back to your other job? Can you see? Is this something that like you're like excited about, like that you're interested in, and that you're like, oh, like I'm behind this. I feel like I have purpose. Like you want to do it. I mean, there's no chance. There's no massive harm if you like try something new. But yeah, what feels good in your gut. Sophia says, yes, exactly. I can feel it when I'm positive. People are laughing and bringing me down. Trisha says, Kayla, my daughter has just been deciding to break off drama friendships, and quarantine has been a good time for her to do that. Yes. Okay. What if someone says, what if they somehow success, it made me feel bad? Can you explain what you mean there? Just need a little bit more context. Simona says, also, a hobby can become the best job. I always loved dogs. 13 years ago, I started to train, search, and rescue. Now I have 5 dogs and earn a living as a mantrailing instructor, missing persons. Wow, that's amazing. That is so cool. Wow, what a job. Kayla says, Trisha, it's been nice not to interact with him because of quarantine. I want to find a next semester to say, hey, leave me alone. Don't sit next to me. So you don't need to say that, because that's you being negative. If you say, hey, I don't want to see you, I don't want you to sit next to you, that's you being kind of an asshole, right? You don't need to do that. You just need to go in with a smile, and if they come up to you and say like negative things, tell me what this person is doing. If they're coming up to you and saying negative things, just I just smile and count to 10 and walk away. Don't buy into it. If you say, hey, you can't sit next to me, and I don't want this here, like that's what they want. This is this person, like you're feeding into that negativity. You're dropping down to this level. You don't want to drop down. You want to stay up, okay? Not the best kind of conversation though, which is, yeah, you don't need to like open the conversation with like, you can't sit next to me and I don't want you in class, right? It's about like, if they come up to you, give me some examples of what this person is doing. So if they come up to you and they're just like, whatever they're saying to you, I don't know. I need some context of what this person's actually saying to you. Because if you already go in like heavy and say all of these things, you're basically going to be feeding into what they are wanting from you, which is not what we want. We want you guys to have a powerful and enlightening life and not have to deal with people who are negative. All right, Rachel says, very true. I appreciate you. You're welcome. Okay, so there is going to be always something better. If you guys got any more questions, you can fire them in the chat. It was always going to be something better that comes along. All right, so never panic that you are losing something. You're always going to gain something even better. And lastly, I just wanted to talk about like getting into a funk, right? It's so normal. I think it feels like almost quarantine life is normal now. And it's like, how are we going to adjust when we get back to the normal world? Does anybody else feel like that? Give me a 2 in the chat if you're like, hey, I feel like I'm like living quarantine life. I'm like in the flow, and now I'm just like, well, how do I live a normal life? Like, what does that look like? I can relate to that. I like had to do a 360 switch. Now I'm in this great quarantine flow. I'm like, oh my goodness, like what happens when like things open up again? Like I don't know what to do. So if you guys have any more questions, you can put them in the chat and I'll be answering a couple more. So in terms of like getting into a funk, it's totally normal. And sometimes it's just like, for me, it takes like sleeping it off. It's like, I know I'm in this funk. It's going to just last a couple of days because I just need to get myself back. You probably need some more sleep. You need to be eating really healthy meals, and you need to be getting outside exercise. Okay, let's just see some of these. Oh, all these chats just literally came straight in. Okay, here we go. Okay, loads of 2s. Awesome. Amazing. Good. Okay, yeah, up and down. January, trying to see for emotion. It is. Okay, so there's, the reason that I do this, and I ask you if, if you felt, in a funk, or if you felt like you've made a bad choice, and all these people here, so you can feel like, hey, I'm not alone. Like, literally everybody has made a choice that they're not completely fond of, and everybody has got into a funk at one point in their life, and this just shows, how many things. If someone says, I'm worried about that too. When things reopen, what are we supposed to do then? It's like, okay, now things are open. Like, are we allowed to outside? Like, what does it look like to go out for dinner? What do you wear again? Like, how do you order food? What does it look like to go to a restaurant? Like, how do you go to a mall? How do you do shopping again? Like, so it's like, we're gonna have to like relearn some skills because we've like completely adapted. And I think that's normal. and it's going to be an exciting journey. It's going to be exciting when things open up again and we can like move around. Like, you know, it's just another chapter of the life that we get to have. Yeah, someone said walking outside, such a great thing to do just to get your body out there. So if you're getting into a funk, okay, it's like, okay, take some deep breaths. Recognize that you're in a funk because sometimes you're like, oh, I don't feel right. I don't know if you guys, but you wake up sometimes, you're like, I just don't feel right. I don't feel like myself. I don't feel normal. And it's probably because you're a bit sleep deprived. You're working a lot. There's maybe a person in your life that's causing some friction, that's giving you a little bit of anxiety, and it's making you feel like a bit confused. And then you just need to, maybe you're dehydrated as well. Sometimes like when you are feeling like in a funk, it's because you have not drank enough water, you've not got outside enough. So all of these little things, just doing the little routine things to mix up your day. So get enough sleep, having healthy food, drinking lots of water, getting outside, speaking with powerful, positive people, and alleviating some of the people that maybe cause a little bit of stress in your life. All right, Kayla says, right, and being negative is not what I want to do at all. We used to be friends, so he thinks we're still close and tries to tell me all this crap about his life, and I really don't care to hear it. I do walk away with respond with positivity for sure. He just doesn't take any kind of hint. I was just wondering if there was a play. He probably, does anybody else here think that this guy just digs you, Kayla? Like, it sounds like he really likes you. Hey, he's just being a guy and doesn't know how to express it. But, like, why don't you, what is the reason you don't care to hear it? Can you just, like, can you set that boundary? Is he saying nasty things to you? Like, I'm kind of confused if he was actually being nasty to you, or if actually you just don't really like him that much and you don't want him in this life. But maybe he fancies you. Guys are weird. Okay. Right, so this is strange. Somebody's just arrived at my door, and I don't really know why. Okay, yeah, I know, Penny. It's a random man. Okay, so let's see what else we've got here. Alrighty, amazing, cool, great. Rebecca, do you worry about us becoming socially lazy, like relying on Zoom too much? No, not really. I don't think being on Zoom is lazy. I think if you're interacting, if you're doing the work, it doesn't matter. I don't think that's lazy. I've been doing Zoom calls for 7 years. I've been using Zoom and working from my home for such a long time, and I'm definitely not lazy. So yeah, I don't think that is. I think that if we can work a little bit more from home and we can be more with our families, I think it's going to be a great transition. Because the amount of times that people spend driving to and from work, where some of the stuff that they could do from home, I think it's going to help a much better work-life balance. Rebecca, please, I missed Tuesday's live workout. I wanted to do it today, but it says the video. Right, so YouTube is being weird with me. I'm going to have to re-upload the video, so I'm just waiting for it back. Just bear with me. I'm working on it. It'll be up today or tomorrow. Okay, let's see. Hi, Rebecca, can you make a video about your living room decoration? Your back garden is very nice. Thank you. Okay, he's gay and he definitely does not. Okay, so he doesn't fancy you. So I just wonder why he's telling you all this stuff and then being nasty too. Maybe if he is one of your friends, just have a conversation with him and say, hey, I'm confused by our relationship right now. There's a few things that you've done, which is X, Y, and Z. You have to give people examples. But first of all, you need to say, hey, can I give you some feedback? Can I give you some feedback about our relationship? Because I do care about you, because you do care about people, right? And then let's see what's going on in his life. He might not realize that what he's doing is affecting you. So first of all, you have to ask for permission. Because if you go straight in and you're just like, hey, you did this X, Y, and Z. Say, hey, can I give you some feedback on our relationship? I want to, clear the air. And he's going to say yes. Or if he says no, then you can't say anything, right? He says yes. Say, okay, great. So this is how I've been feeling. I've been feeling like this. It's never you. You make me feel like this. That's not the thing. I feel like when you say X, Y, and Z, it makes me feel like this. And I just want to understand, I don't think that that's how you're really trying to make me feel, but I'm just trying to understand it. Because I'm sure, if you really explained it to him, he's not going to be like, oh yeah, I definitely want to make you feel like that. So it's about having that open dialogue conversation, asking for permission first, and then making it all about you, okay? Not what he has done wrong to you. Our normal life after the pandemic should be leaded accurate to the state of the environment, I think, just saying I know it's National Earth Day today. Okay, so he's just super negative. So explain that. Say, hey, I just want to give you some feedback. I'm finding it really difficult to have you as a friend in my life because you are negative. What is going on in your life right now that is making you feel like this? ask him, because it's something that's making him feel negative, and maybe we can help him, right? I've been in touch for years with somebody I really like. For a year, we've been closer and have a great connection, but we haven't had the talk if we are a couple. Should I say it or let it flow? What do you want? I mean, what do you want out of this person? Like, you have to be, if you have the talk with this person, this is my thing. If you say to this person, hey, what are we? And they run a mile, that's not your person. So you just have to be prepared that this person might say, hey, no, we're not. And then you have to decide if you want to step away. If it was in my shoes, I would be asking the person, hey, what are we? Like, what's going on here? And then when I got the answer from them, I need to know that I'm prepared. If he said, oh, we're just like fun, like casually dating, like, hey, does that mean that we're fun, casually dating? Or is that what I want? If that's not what I want, I'm like, okay, no problem. I think we're on the different paths. But it's definitely playing on your mind because you are thinking about it daily. Okay, I know that you would be thinking about this like a lot. So I highly suggest having the conversation, but just be prepared that he might not give you the answer that you want, but at least it will give you some clarity, because you don't want to waste your time with someone who's got no interest in being with you forever, unless it's just a bit of fun right now, especially if you're long distance as well. Kayla, you're so welcome. Isabel says, since the lockdown, I've nearly been active like this, doing 3 workouts a day and drinking lots of water. Isn't that great? Even with the thousands of followers, do you feel disconnected at times? Honestly, I mean, yes, I live right now in quarantine by myself. Corey's working 4 days in a row, and I'm here by myself with the dogs. So it's definitely, there are split times where I'm like, oh my goodness, like human interaction. Like, thank goodness we have this incredible community where I do feel connected to all of you people. But yeah, there's definitely days where I feel a little bit foggy, or I'm just like, oh my goodness, like, what day is it? Like, I need to get outside, like, I need to get off my computer, like, my hands are feeling like crippled because, like, I am, I'm working. In fact, my CBO, she's my chief business officer. I got one about 6 months ago just to help me out with, like, managing all the business. She literally sent me a message just before I got on this call. She was like, Rebecca, a little bit worried about you. You just need to, you are working like a lot, and I'm just, reaching out and like letting you know that, just to like look after yourself. Because I have never been so busy in all my life, and I want to reply to everybody. I send voice notes out to everybody. If anyone has a nutrition question in the Burn app, I am voice noting them. I'm getting started on plans, and I absolutely love it. Like, and this is what I love to do. And obviously I have a team of coaches as well that are with it, but it just fuels my fire. I'm like, I'm so lucky to be in a situation that I am in because I found an opportunity that gave me great results, and I just feel selfish if I don't share it with other people. So it's like a moral thing. So thank you for that question. This is a very good way to think about it. Yes, Trisha says, I'm keeping active with workouts for sure, although need to step and count water intake. That's super important. Loved your golden shirt you're wearing the other day. Oh, thank you, lovely. And one of my sisters-in-laws refers to dates as Blur's Day. That's hilarious. I love that. Okay, well, I'm going to take 2 more questions if anyone has any more questions. Penny, you're literally ruining my chairs every single time. She wants to sit on this chair and look out at the window. Yes, you're ruining my chair. You've got goop in your eye. You're a hot mess right now, my dear. But that's all right. We still love you. Okay, so I hope that you enjoyed this. As you know, my new book is my very first book. I say my new book. My very first book, this is Mental, is coming out in September. It's available now for pre-sale. You get a 101 recipe book. You'll get like a discount on some of the tour stuff, and also some other some things as well. If you go to rebecca-louise.com/book, if you are around the rest of the world, you can still order it. Just click on the button that says outside USA. If you're in the USA, you can get it through Barnes & Nobles, Amazon. Really appreciate the support on this. Our goal is to reach 10,000 copies of the book in the first week. So if you want to be part of the book club as well, the people who are going to be my game changers, my agent changers, my change agents, I'm going to be setting up a special group for people who want to help be part of the book team as well. So this is going to be a really great, oh, Penny, she's asleep. It's going to be a really great book. I've just put my absolute heart and soul into it. It looks amazing. It's really fun to read. There's like tables, charts, pictures. I mean, the whole 10 yards. It's going to be amazing. So if you haven't got your copy, please do. because it really does make a difference. We want to try and hit 10,000 by the first week in sales, and that will actually help us get potentially on the New York Times bestseller. So that is the goal, because I want to be able to reach as many people as possible, and it's going to be done with people like you. So if you want to share this, tell people about the book, go ahead and do that. So, tell other people have already done it. Please come to Europe. I really want to. Penny has no bones. I know. I think that's what it is. She is literally like a floppy thing. Like, you can literally just like roll her over. She's just like a sack of potatoes. Yeah, it is. Whereas Alfie is like absolutely like rigid. Okay, cool. All right, guys. Yeah, that's probably the best way that you can describe Penny, is that she has got no bones. What am I doing for my birthday? I do not know what I'm doing for my birthday. My birthday is on the 7th of May, so a couple of weeks. Corey was trying to get me to like go away to like Palm Springs or whatever, but I don't want to travel or go anywhere right now while everything is going on. So I'll probably just stay here and have a nice little birthday here. So thank you so much for joining me, everybody. I am so excited to have our live. We've got the kids live tomorrow, Thursday, 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. And then on Saturday, we have got the booty and abs one. It's my favorite workout of the week, that one. And Penny and I will both be there. Well, thank you so much for joining us, everybody. I hope this has helped. And that you just take on something that you learned today and implement it, and just lead with positivity, having great energy, and a big smile on your face. So thanks everybody for joining us, and we will see you next week. Bye, guys.